Hey, welcome back to the Corberlang channel. Today we have something very exciting. My top 15 G.I. Joe O-Ring action figures, version 1 versus version 2. This is not my favorite 15 figures. They will be judged on how they do as a pair as well as against each other. If version 2 is just a repaint, then I will jump to the next version. Figures like Keel Hall version 1 and 2 or Backblast just won't cut it, as well as the Marauders, Night Force, Tiger Force, Python Patrol, and Mission Brazil. As much as I love all those sub-teams, this is a competition on iconic figures against versions of themselves and how they rank as a pair. Okay, kicking it off with number 15, we have Deep Six from 1984. Came with the shark, probably meant to be played with in the bathtub. He had the pump feature so you could make some bubbles. GIJoe is swimming underwater. And he'll be going up against version 2, which is a totally different figure, fully articulated. He came carded, without any vehicle, with lots of accessories to compensate, making underwater playtime just as possible with version 2. And the winner is version 2, not just because of the improved articulation, but also because I prefer the new color scheme. Okay, coming in at number 14, we have Flint. First released in 1985. I didn't like the 91 release, so I went with the 1994. The Desert Paratrooper, as opposed to a warrant officer. Beautiful card art here. But the winner is version 1. You just can't mess with the original in this case. Okay, for number 13, we have Wild Bill from 1983, released with the Dragonfly, taken on Wild Bill version 2 from 1992. The 1983 version was the helicopter pilot, came in all green with the blue hat, nice looking figure, and the 1992 version was the Air Cavalry Scout, also a nice looking figure. And the winner is the original version from 1983. Alright, next we have 1986 Beachhead taken on 1993 Beachhead. Both amazing Ranger figures. I love the balaclava with this one. Amazing card art. It's one I grew up with. I really like this figure. This version here, I have to say, is also pretty cool. The mask is nice with the glasses. It also has the face covering that I like. Those colors really go with the figure, so it's a close match for me. But the winner is Beachhead, the original. Okay, for number 11, we have Roadblock. First released in 1984 as a heavy machine gunner, and later released in 1986, also as a heavy machine gunner. An iconic figure, one of the best in my opinion. The 1986 version was popular when I was a kid in my years. He was in all the sticker books. So this made this a hard choice for this iconic figure, but the winner is version 1, the original. Okay, coming in at number 10, we got Iceberg. First released in 1986, the Snow Trooper, and then later released in 1993, the Arctic Assault Trooper. I had this guy as a kid, so he's high on my list. I really like this guy. Beautiful figure. Nice card art. But when he was later released in 1993, he came with a snowboard, which made him really fun to play with. His chest plate is nice on his mold. The card art is beautiful. I might change the colors from yellow to green to make it 100%, but... And the winner is version 2, Arctic Assault Trooper. You can't beat that snowboard. Okay, for number 9 we have Stalker. Released in 1982 as a part of the original lineup with straight arms. He was a Ranger, one of my favorite figures. He'll be going up against version 2, who was released in 1989. This one came with a kayak and a large gun that mounted on it. The kayak made it very fun to play with. It had lots of accessories. But the winner is version 1. This is another case where you just can't mess with the original. Okay, number 8 is none other than Duke. First released in 1983 as a mail-away, and then later released in 1984 carded. He'll be going up against version 2, released in 1992. This military-themed Duke was one of my favorites, but so was version 1, which makes this a difficult choice. Version 1 had military colors, and version 2, very military-themed character, lots of accessories, just beautiful figure. This close round goes to Duke, version 1. Okay, number 7, Sergeant Slaughter. You'll have to excuse me, I've misplaced my version 1, so I've substituted version 2 for its place. And he'll be going against Sergeant Slaughter, version 3. Now, Sergeant Slaughter version 1 is the one that looks like the cartoon, the one that you recognize. And version 2 is more of a military combat looking like Sergeant Slaughter with a removable hat. And the winner, version 1, Sergeant Slaughter. Okay, for number 6 we have Dusty. First released in 1985 as a desert trooper. His name was Ron Tadur, which was Ron Rudat backwards, the last name. He came with a bipod that always fell off the gun and a broken crotch. He'll be going up against version 2, which was released in 1991, but this Dusty came with a Coyote, Sandstorm. This version also had a losable part, the sliding stock, but I like the overall look of this version. They're both very nice figures, but the winner is version 2. Because it's an all-around beautiful figure. It comes with Sandstorm, and it still has its crotch. Okay, for number 5 we have Destro. First released in 1983 as a weapons dealer. One of my favorites. And he'll be going up against version 2. Destro, the Iron Grenadier, released in 1988. What's cool about this version is he came with the despoiler, which sat upon the demon. But these are both amazing versions of a great iconic figure. And the winner is Destro, version 2. I think because I just like the look of this figure a lot more and the concept of the Iron Grenadiers. Plus I grew up with this version as well. Okay, for number 4 we have Cobra Commander. First released as a straight arm in 1982, and the second version was released as a mail-away in 1984. I know there isn't much of a difference between these two versions, but for me, anyway, this color was quite an upgrade, and the hood made all the difference in the world. So my decision is Hooded Cobra Commander, version 2. There's just something more menacing about this version. Okay, we're getting down to it. For number 3, we have Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes was first released in 1982 as a straight arm. He was a paintless figure, a commando. And he'll be going up against Snake Eyes version 2, my childhood favorite. This ninja/commando came with Timberwolf and was just an all-around beautiful figure. Out of these two amazing figures, version 2 is better in my opinion. It comes with the addition of a sword and Timberwolf. Okay, sitting at number 2, we have Gung Ho. First released in 1983, a Marine. One of my childhood favorites. I really enjoyed that color. Just a beautiful figure. He'll be going up against version 2 from 1987. This one is beautiful figure. His clothes accurately depict the Marine dress blues. Just an awesome figure. And the winner is version 1. The gun, the vest, the interesting color, the tattoo all make this an amazing action figure. Okay, taking the number 1 spot, we have Storm Shadow, an Arashikage ninja for Cobra. An amazing action figure, beautiful ninja. I had a hard time getting this guy when I was a child, but I finally picked him up at Consumers. He'll be going up against version 2 Storm Shadow. Another ninja, but now for GIJoe, which makes this a fascinating version 2. And the winner is Storm Shadow version 2.